Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to everybody that is watching and listening. And good afternoon to Miss Suzanne Watson.
Well, so, Mr. Phoenixson, welcome. How are you?
I am doing great, and thank you for having me on Talk Today. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to everybody that is watching and listening. And good afternoon to Miss Suzanne Watson.
Well, our good colleague, Raymond Singh, Phoenix's dad. Can I, as much as you want, as do two things. Not just welcome you to our conversation, but thank you, for not just being the champion and that great cheerleader, but sometimes we don't always appreciate how important, how the involvement of the parent and especially the father in the life of the child, especially the son. And yes, we can look at the statistics and the studies and indicate that in absence of there is that, but there has to be a recognition of the consciousness, but the cost, and the cost of not doing is greater than the cost of doing. But in so doing, there's a greater cost than we appreciate. And we're not talking just financial. So thank you. I mean, if that's okay.
Thank you. I appreciate you, the kind words. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
And thanks for giving Phoenix the opportunity to come on and do a spiel.
All right. So I know this isn't the first time you want to try to remember this was your third time with me. I know it's been more than twice. Because it was one.
It's been a couple times.
Yeah, it's been a number of times. It's been a number of times. Yeah, I'm young. I remember that. If you don't, it's because you're busy. You're doing all kind of work, And the reason why that is just very much like the interns who come through the studio and they've had almost a school year. And you can see not just their comfortableness, their competence growing, but, that level of, confidence. We get it. But with you, it's amazing, the exponential growth. His first time, yeah, understandably. The second time, or the third time, or the fourth time, in that time with the guitar. But this time, I could step away, and nobody would know the difference other than, it's a noticeable improvement. You shine, man.
Flexing the jacket,
yeah,
right?
You see it.
That's a new thing.
That's a new. But wait, you see it, right?
Oh, I've definitely seen the confidence growth in the past year since. He's been doing his channels, and even from last time, there was a lot of nervousness ahead of time of the show and rocking of the chair during the show. Just the little mannerisms, and then I was joking today. I would actually, you could actually take a half-hour break and Phoenix hop in your chair, and
well,
I'm sure he'd go for it.
I mean, I would, yes.
Yeah, you would. Hey. And that is what I like. When we give people, and many times we don't appreciate two things. Sadly, that is a young person. And I have permission from the guy to say this because he said this is actually a true thing. We older people and in education and we dumb down society. Apparently that's a legitimate term. We don't raise the bar. We do things to them instead of upskilling and all the that we talk about. We actually dumb them down. We don't expect greatness from them. But secondly, he doesn't say we don't also understand that adults will come in with preconceived notions and because of their life experiences with a greater sense of nervousness, especially in front of a camera or a microphone. And yet the young person has initially a greater sense of confidence if we nurture it. They will have that greater sense of expectation because, if we instill it. And here you are exemplifying that by just what you demonstrated. And that gives me hope, my friend. I mean, it's amazing. So, can we ask you if you're willing? Okay, Phoenix Singh. Who is Phoenix Singh? Tell us about you. I mean, if you wish.
So, as you just said, I am Phoenix Singh. I'm 12 years old, and I like to do sports, music, and I am also a content creator.
Okay. Sports and music, I understand, I think. I play, I dabble. The last one I'm not too sure about, right? But first, I like badminton. I actually like that. I love football. I mean, it's a sport I could play forever. I watched water polo when I first started to play it. I had a challenge with the horses getting drowned. But For those who know differently, there's a joke there somewhere.
I don't understand.
But Red does.
As soon as I heard the joke, I was like, he's not going to get this one. It's going to go straight over, but it's all good.
But that wasn't for him.
But that's all good. You can acknowledge it.
I can laugh at how
You can still laugh at the
how
joke.
awkward it was.
And that is the honesty that we
He'll call you
need
out.
and value, and why I enjoy being with people, right, who are honest. So we'll explain that during the break. And then we'll go, what was that joke? Hold on, water horses. Okay. What sports do you like, my friend? What sports do you like?
So I like cricket, hockey, and basketball, but cricket is like a kind of, because I like to play it in PE. I guess that doesn't kind of count because we do tons of things in PE. But I really like hockey because I love to watch like all the games, especially the playoffs. And my favorite team is Toronto Maple Leafs.
Mm-hmm.
And then for basketball, I have a favorite player, and he is Steph Curry because I like his shot.
Yeah?
Yeah. And also, I would like to give a shout out to First Baptist because we won a basketball tournament like earlier this year. I would just like to give a shout out to my teammates and Coach Colin.
You know, only because it's Coach Colin why I may refrain. I said may, but only for now. No, but that's what is important about sports and team sports in particular. You're playing, you know, and you're getting this. Hopefully, this doesn't sound as bad outside as it does in my headset, but I don't know. Phoenix, you sound great, by the way, as you do always. Now, with music and the like, I probably like almost every type of music except that thing, and I recognize this will offend many and someone one in particular, but not heavy metal. Like, I don't even understand how that could be music. But maybe you're different. Whoa, what do you like?
Heavy metal.
Okay, I'll tell you why I like the music I like.
He's going to preface it. I love it.
I know that. Okay, go ahead.
I started doing music when I was like very young.
Uh-huh.
And I started to play the guitar, and I like really started to like rock because I started listening to tons of music. So I also liked rock and reggae.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I liked rock and also heavy metal, which I heard you don't like,
But by the way, I didn't know you like that.
it's not because of like maybe like their voices sound way different. It's just that I like the guitar playing, and it sounds like really, really neat and unique to me. So I think that's why I think I like rock so much. And then I created 2 of my original songs, Greener Grass and Island Boy, where I first performed at the National Song Competition, then Hard Rock Cafe, Red Sky at Night, The Hive, the Westin. I don't remember the rest.
Yeah. But at age 12, right, the performances, especially in a small space that came on, that's a lot of places, right? So I honestly and consciously knew, because you told me before, heavy metal, that was one of your favorite, right? I remember that. But the reason why I asked is that in the conversation, unbeknownst to you, with your dad, the confidence you have, the willingness and the mental agility that you have in order to be able to politely, respectfully say your piece, but still, maintain your space, right? And I think I was confident in knowing that I get a response from you that is not just respectful, but you're going to say what you think. That's a testament to the world that we want our children to inhabit and who we want them to be.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And this is where, again, I come back to my earlier comment. As adults, parents and educators in particular, we need to make sure that our young people understand that they can and should speak their minds, say and be speaking from an informed perspective. That notion, well, I'll come back to that. So that's a testament to the example that he's introduced to and that you set.
No, thank you. I appreciate that because I love the fact that he'll own his space.
Yes.
And a lot of people, I think, to that point you mentioned about people being afraid of the mic is a lot of people don't want to own their space. They're afraid, so they'll try to own someone else's space.
Yeah.
And he likes to own his space, and I love that.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm going to be respectful to Miss Susan and then within the 20 seconds, I'm going to go to the commercial break on time. I mean, you notice that, right? The digital clock is there. I can rewind it almost straight to the second, but I won't. So when we come back, Phoenix, I want to talk to you more. I want to ask you about the things you've been doing, what you're up to. But also, you said what? You like sports, you like music, and you're a content creator. And guy, I can go in the kitchen and enjoy things, but what is that? I mean, I'm not your age, although we look close in age. So you're going to tell me about content creating and what that involves? Phoenix Singh is going to sit with us, so stay tuned as we welcome you back after the break.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And I'm honored, not just as a man, a father, a parent, but to be alive, that I'm in a space where young, and because you said his age, Phoenix Singh at 12 years old, you have not just the opportunity, you have the courage, but you also have the encouragement to be able to come publicly. And it doesn't matter if only 2 other people are listening. The fact that you're in front of a microphone and you are so confident, so competent, as great as it is to you, with the greatest respect to you, I point to your parents, and since your dad is to my right, the importance of the father figure being present. As I said, the champion and the cheerleader. And if more of us are doing that as coaches, as teachers, but as quote-unquote parents, biological otherwise, the better it will be for their outlook, but for them in their success, financial and otherwise. It's my view.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's not just myself. Phoenix has his mom as well. That's
Yeah.
But I mean, and to that point, though, you're 100% correct. I mean, school is a supporting arm. Society, neighbors are supporting arm. There is no replacement for the parents. And that is the first. That's where the buck stops. That's where the buck starts. And
as a good father, thank you for recognizing the mom. I mean, I said parents, right?
No,
but I
of
think
course, yes,
sometimes we as men, and I'm guilty of it, right? We have a notion, perhaps a societal expectation. Maybe it's wrong, but it's our inference. We're the protectors and providers, and we go and, it's not like the hunter-gatherer only. It's the idea that, but the mom would always be that loving, kind, nurturing person. I mean, that's what I think they are. But they're also strong and independent, and we get all the good things for them too. But statistically, we see the incarcerated father more than the incarcerated mother. We see the absent father for different reasons, and we don't appreciate how important, the physically present father is.
There is no greater threat.
Yeah.
And this is actually backed by a fair bit of social research.
Yes.
There is no greater threat to society right now than the vast number of fatherless homes. Mm-hmm. It's been statistically proven on a number of fronts. Yeah. But that's outside of this conversation.
But the reason why, thank you for that, and you recognize the presence of the mom, and that's, everybody will have people say to me, but it's because I have, a fantastic mother and 7 amazing sisters, right? So that female presence in our own lives, but in our Cayman Islands. Just go downtown. There's a statue right there that speaks volumes despite its small size. But I want to ask that because I've seen some of the things that you've been up to. And yes, now I understand their words today that didn't exist before, their careers today that, we didn't know that about. And you were a content creator.
Yes.
Okay. I'll pretend that I know what that is. No. Before I even ask you how you got started in that, for people like me, what is that? I mean, DJ didn't give me a crash course earlier, but
So, a content creator is a person that would think of an idea that would be good for their audience, and then they would create that idea and figure out what would be the best way to do it. I don't think a content creator would be like just someone who posts videos. It has to be someone who puts in, thinks about what would be best for the next video or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So trying to make, I actually know a little bit more than I let on sometimes, but sometimes, unlike other people, when I don't know something, I don't, and so I want to learn, right? So I liken it to that director producer in a movie, for instance, the citizen journalist that we call today, where we got that person, and that content creator, here you are speaking into this metaverse, as it were, and finding people and monetizing it and the like. And it's almost akin to the lone person in the park on a soapbox with nobody listening, but with the microphone passes by, except your park is in that physical green space, that's fenced in. It's limitless almost, and it could be millions, and it could be no one.
Yeah.
That's our courage. So that's what you do. So, any particular challenges other than the obvious, but that you could share as a content creator? What are some of the challenges?
So I think that the biggest challenge for any content creator is probably getting started off. Because for me, I had to learn how to do the emails. I had to learn how to use the equipment, edit the videos, post some of the videos.
So the technical, practical part of everything. But then, for our show here, I need to reach out to people, get them to agree to come on, figure out what we're going to talk about. People got to produce it or whatever, and then you got to make it happen when you come on. Is that similar to what you have to do as well?
Yes, I missed that one bit out.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Yeah.
Yes. So, especially if you have to do something that in front of a ton of people. Yes, that would also be a very hard challenge.
Scheduling. I mean, just logistics we talk about, but the scheduling. You got to work to that person's schedule. You got to work it into your schedule of all the things you have to do. Can you tell us how you got started in this? I mean, you shared and alluded to it, but
so I actually, since I had music when I was around 10, 11, I really wanted to have a YouTube channel to actually promote my music. But then after that, I decided it could be much bigger, and so I decided to promote the Cayman Islands. Because if I promote the Cayman Islands, it could be more of a tourism spot, and it could be like the rest of the world can know about the Cayman Islands.
Okay. I know that initially your schedule, if we had afford, you probably couldn't pay for it. You only could commit to half an hour, and we're at close to the 2 o'clock. With your dad's acquiescence, we can go long after the news, or we can end it. No. Is up to you. But I wanted to ask a number of things, including that handsome gesture of a figure next to you. What is that about, right? But in this content, we hear our young people, our children, want to do it, and some do it. Some find greater enjoyment, fulfillment, and financial success. Is it okay? And I speak to your dad with respect to you, but he understands my personal mantra. I don't think he ever to speak to a child without a parent present. That's always been my view.
Sure.
People don't subscribe to that. You see, anyway, that's a discussion for another time. But through you, is it okay to ask, how do you make a living in this? I mean, we've got to monetize different things. We see someone who has an effective voice, and they can command audiences and get paid as a public speaker, whichever. But boy, clicks and
there's a fair bit of research out there on how to get monetized. There's a process to it. Each platform out there has their own rules and regulations on what you have to do, the criteria you have to meet. Man, I could say it's not an easy scenario, and to achieve it on any level I had no idea going into it how people made money doing it, just like you did just now. And I can say that after doing the research, it is an extremely challenging, just like any industry. It's very competitive. But there's definitely ways to do it if you want to make a career out of it. Thankfully, Phoenix is still in an age where he's looking at this more as, it's something fun to do still. The money will come one day if he's putting the effort in over many years. But as of right now, it's just a scenario of, it's something that's still really cool for him to do. He's learned so much through this process. So as a parent, from the parent standpoint, I'm looking at he's done 2 years of college in the past year by simply doing this type of program.
Felix, I may ask you, because like your father, I have a similar thought process in that, it's fun, but we see there's a lot of work. You're learning stuff, how to edit and how to use different equipment and how to, things that you may not you specifically, but you may, not appreciate how much learning, how much commitment, how much time, how much effort is involved. From your perspective, is this like that, 2 years of college in one, or is it, this is a fun, cool thing to do, man, How do you see it?
Both. Like, so here's how I would I think that this usually happens to me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I am doing my channels for a while, I go from fun down to down. But then when I take a break for at least not even 5 days,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back into it. I won't be upset.
Mm-hmm.
Or not upset, but I won't be tired.
Mm-hmm. Which is very much.
It's very true. The
Yeah.
breaks are needed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't realize that ahead of time, but he'll go through these spells where he'll work for several days straight on a series of videos, which he has been, and then but he's a kid, and he's 12, and he needs a break, and take a break.
What's that? Work-life balance, life-work balance. That's the same with us, with any of us.
Yeah.
Right? We have friends who are accountants and auditors, and they talk about audit season and maybe January to June.
Sure.
They're constantly going, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and then they're hoping that come July there's a break. No, wait, there isn't a break because new clients come on. So it's the same with you. You work in extended hours. Well, hopefully, what do I say? Find something you like to do.
But with that said, though, it's that commitment factor. That's one of the things I'm really proud of Phoenix on. He's taken this commitment level and invested into his free time. He's balancing his sports, his music, his school, and he's using
no school anymore. I mean, it's summertime.
I know. He's using his free hours over summer to work on his videos, right? And that's the stuff that you can't teach that.
Yeah.
You have to earn that, and he's earning that badge of honor with it.
And we can see that in our own children. We can see that others children when that discipline, that dedication, that determination, that thing that they have, sense of independence, right? So I'm proud of it. When we come back from the news, could we ask you to talk about what's to your right? Because I was looking in the mirror and I don't. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about other things?
So, to my right is a very special person.
When we come back, though.
All right, Miss Susan, yeah. So we could talk about it?
Next time.
Next time?
When we come back on.
Okay. All right, so Miss Susan says to give us another 2 minutes. So, and we also, in talking about that, I think we all need people in our lives. Many times as children, we want our parents, or we want, as adults, a partner. Sometimes we want our siblings. But sometimes that help, that support, that, factor is an external, almost unexpected resource. All right, so when we come back, first we want to talk about, it can't be the elephant in the room, but, the object in the chair. We could talk about that, all right? We invite you to rejoin us after the news as we continue our discussion with Phoenix Singh. Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks to Phoenix Singh for not just sitting with us, but hopefully through you, especially in the summer. Right? School is going to restart in short order. Many of us as parents and as students are excited. And I don't know that we often appreciate how important the school, but also the intervening summer is, right? So Phoenix, as we go into the break, we want to benefit from you. And I recognize the importance, as I shared, of how important it is sometimes to have those champions, those cheerleaders. And for many of us, it's our parents, right? And that love, nurture that we get from our mother, that sort of drive, determination, and push that we find innate, and we can look to uncle, aunt, grandfather, father, and the like. If I could, in your world, if it's okay, who are some of your biggest champions and cheerleaders, your supporters and nurturers, your people who not only stand before you, but who right there that you can lean against, if you would?
So I'm very grateful for everybody who has supported me. So my parents have supported me. My family has supported me. And my Aunt Serena, she's the one who does all the sign language in my videos. So she has definitely supported me, and I'm very grateful for all the businesses that allow me to interview them.
Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that you use sign language, and I've tried it for different reasons. And there was a time when I was doing okay with some of it, trying to learn the alphabet, and I kind of mixed it up. And then I realized that if you tie my hands, I can't talk. Some people, that was not a bad joke. How much? But to be able, and I think not many people understand that is a second language, right? And by doing that, can I ask, we see it in many public meetings, political, especially now. Any particular reason, if it's okay to ask, why you have opted to put sign language as you do at the times you do?
So, there's actually two reasons. One, well, they're kind of combined, so I'm just going to explain at the top. So, another one of my aunts is actually deaf, so I thought it'd be good to be inclusive, so I could get, so more people can watch my videos and learn about Cayman.
But no, thank you for that, because I don't think that we, like you, it's a personal reason why I got involved, right? You have a friend, and that friend may have a sibling that has a hearing impediment, and the words today are inclusion. Back then, you did not necessarily use that word, but that's what you were doing, by default, by a deliberate consciousness. Today, it's much easier to displace people without even recognize it, but you've consciously included them. Hey, thanks very much. I wanted to also ask, if you get through a discussion when you have time, how people can pursue their passions, how they can perhaps enter the space, how there's collaboration. But I'm excited to learn more about your companion, your co-author. Tell me about the entity to your right. Well, who is it? What is it? Why is it?
Okay. So, I'm starting a new series called Groot Around Cayman. And I've recently started it, and basically Cayman is his galaxy, which is a weird way of saying it, but so to my right is Groot, and he's like a air stuffed plushie, and he's supposed to be the new boss, but teammate, kind of on the Phoenix Zone.
Yeah. And I like the collaboration, and there are some of us, I won't mention, who have traveled the world and have taken an object with them for different reasons. It's a reminder of someone who can't join them. It's and why Groot? I mean, why not some other character? Why not some other?
Have you seen that face?
It's half sad, half happy, but
why Groot? That's why I'm asking. I know the character. I mean, I always thought it was a tree, but maybe it's not.
There's more than one good reason, I say. I'll name one.
All right.
So, I actually kind of thought of this, why it's good to have Groot, is because since Cayman, or any island, mainly has palm trees, what is Groot? Is he a human?
I'm asking that question every day.
He's a tree that all kids can connect with, right?
Exactly. So he's related to kind of like a palm tree. So
There we go.
Yeah.
They could be matching.
There we go.
Is it
I
okay?
love it.
Yeah. So, okay, we have a question off air that we're asking. Does he talk? All right. In your new series, will Groot talk?
Yes.
Who's going to be the voice of Groot?
What does Groot say?
I am Groot.
There you go.
That's all he says.
That's all Groot says.
Well,
it was
actually, no,
the perfect character for any
he said he said one other thing, and that was in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But somehow he just sticks to I am Groot, and it can mean any word.
So who is, if it's okay, who is the voice in your series behind Groot? Who will be the voice? You? Will your dad be? I mean, Susan?
That's classified.
It's classified? I have to get Mulder from X-Files to cover that.
Yeah.
And
It's actually kind of cute though. Groot's actually been a part of a few different photo shoots.
Yeah.
And it's a cute little thing. I guess I love how the pictures come out at the end after the little snapshots.
So I almost want to ask, Phoenix, who's more handsome, Groot or you? Because I mean, he's a handsome fellow, or person, or
Depends.
depends. Good answer, man. Good answer. Good
Future
answer.
politician right here.
Hey,
You ask.
yeah, maybe we'll ask Groot and see what he says. But with that, in all seriousness, Groot has, in my mind, there's a particular song that is synonymous with Groot. You like heavy metal as one of your many genres. What would you ascribe Groot's sort of theme song? I mean, what would you do?
Ooh, that's kind of strange. A reggae, I guess, because I'd make
All
them
right.
reggae or probably reggae.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I mean, would you go with like a third world song or UB40, or would you go to Jimmy Cliff? Or, I don't know. What do you think, man? I mean, if you're going to go with a reggae song...
I think it depends on where Groot's at on a certain day.
So it can change.
Like if like somehow the Red Hot Chili Peppers come down here, he'd be listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers. But I mean, they should come down here.
I agree.
I thought they were coming.
Yeah.
All right. But this is where I think, Ray, when we, as parents, and probably we have had this conversation consciously. I know many of us, the collective we as parents, have looked at it and go, our child is playing a video game. And up until the $2 million prize the other day, we would say to the child, stop, you can't make money doing that. And now they can. We know our teachers talk about, the jobs that exist now will not exist later, or there are jobs that we are not even preparing them for that will. And whether we call it monetizing, whether we look in this as whatever, there is a training and development opportunity, and it goes beyond the financial reward.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't think you can put a number on how much Phoenix has actually learned throughout this process. So he's coming up to his 1-year anniversary right now, next month, for his channels, and you can't put a price tag on the process he has gone. That's the thing. It's a process.
Yeah.
And the first 2 months of this, there was a lot of frustrations trying to figure out the softwares and the online programs. And speaking for Phoenix, he had to go through a lot of ups and downs trying to figure this out. And then, it clicks and it clicks and it clicks. And he's learned a lot, man. Yeah. It's awesome.
Can I ask, Phoenix, and this is where I think as a parent, sometimes we need to be there supporting, helping, guiding, and sometimes doing. But there are many times when we need to allow the child, independently figure this thing out safely, not in a way that would cause harm. As a child, if I may ask, how do you find that? You want the parent there doing, supporting and nurturing and assisting along the way, doing it for you, or leave me alone, I can figure this out myself, and you do it all by yourself?
I'd say two things.
Okay.
One, I think your parent should help you a lot, because especially if you're new. But if you specifically do not want any help, and you feel confident that you can do it, then sure. But I still think you should have your parent. It's like 45-55, not 60-40, 45-55.
45-55 in favor of having the parent there, or 55 you?
55% of having the parent there.
Hey, no. Hey, thank you very much, right? I can say this publicly, and I thank you for saying that. You're not yet finished high school.
Haven't yet started high school.
Okay, I was not going to disclose as much, but I let people feel. But we had a lady publicly, college grad, she was on. Yes, we know her mom. And she said, here's a young person over the age of 18, going through university, very independent. And she said publicly, we as children always want our parents to be in our corner. We appreciate them being present. We may say we don't want, we may think we don't want, but we're so glad. Now, just like what you said or inferred.
I think I'm going to switch now. I think I'm going to go to 55.
Yeah.
Because I think I said the wrong thing.
No, but it's fine. And if I might, what I'm hearing is that there are times when you, as the child,
sure, yeah,
you may want 90%, but sometimes you might only want 10% to be in control, because I give as an example, my brother Dwight doesn't mind. He's probably one of the smartest people I know in many respects, right? And he can put down anything mechanical, and he can fabricate. And so he'll go and he'll do it and he'll get it done. And then sometimes the dad will come in and he'll say, no, hang on. Dad, I got this. And dad will look at it and go, okay. And there was a shift that took place where, you recognize the competence in the child, irrespective of the age. You recognize that they did the thing in a safe way, very ingenious, very innovative. And now you don't have to not only do it yourself, you don't have to seek someone else to do it. And you can confidently know that it's being done in a way that, despite the age or experience of the child, it's on par. And then when you are 90% wanting yourself or 90% wanting your parents. It's that involvement, right? I mean, that's a fair assessment as a parent, that maybe we only get there because we're parents, because we've had, more than 12 years or more than 30 years of life experience. Fair enough, Phoenix?
Yes.
Yes.
And I think I said the wrong.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No. I think, I'm like changing my answer from 45-55 to 50-50 only because I think kids might want like more freedom later on. So
yeah, the scale changes.
50-50. It changes.
He started looking at it like, wait a second, I'm a teenager next year. Let me shift these balances, right?
Like I said,
that's what I mean by saying.
No, but you are right, and it does. There are times when you want 90% as a child, irrespective if you're, under the age of 18 or whether you're 50. You want your parents there. There are times when you want them there more. Couple more minutes if you have.
Yeah,
and we would like to ask you, when as we come back from this break, what lies ahead? Share with us if you wish, as much. Is there any breaking news? Is there any, anything? I mean, what's new ahead? What lies ahead?
Some cool stuff coming up from.
Can we talk about it when we come back?
Yeah,
sure.
All right. Well, please join us, and this is the love that we should extend to our young people as we nurture them and give them their space and help them to own it. So stay tuned for Talk Today. Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and to parents and educators everywhere who make that continued commitment and investment into our children. Thank you very much. To the moms and dads, collectively and through collaboration, whether they're in the scene space or otherwise, that impact on our children are important. To Phoenix Singh, thank you. You, only because you said it, you're 12 years old, and yet the confidence which you have presented yourself, the inspiring tone that you set, make us as parents, proud that our future can be great because our children are able and willing to take up the mantle. So thanks very much, man. If I might, I wanted to, being as respectful of the remaining 10 minutes or so of our discussion, ask a number of things, and one is what is new, but we also want to know how we find more about you. How do we connect with you, and the like.
Okay, I'll go with how to find me first.
Okay.
So you can find the Phoenix Zone and all things Cayman on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. But on Instagram it's at Phoenix Sing Cayman. And please like and subscribe because I have a new video about Miss Mariah Tibbetts, who's a former Miss Cayman. Mm-hmm. So I really just please like and subscribe. Mm-hmm. And then I'm also on Cayman Live TV. Mm-hmm. And I have a radio show on Island FM. And I'm soon to be on CRG TV.
And yet, as I listen to you, that's a lot of things for anybody, to sort of balance that life and work. But as a young person in particular, you're active in school, you've got sports, and one of your sort of teammates, as I shared earlier, did a shout out to you. Having that, you lead, and as well as you're an example to others. You balance your work, your studies. I don't want to say your career, but this path you're on takes a lot. So, commend you for it. Excellent. Many of us as adults can't even figure out how to, get lunch sometimes. Am I wrong, Ray? Nope. I mean, it's not even in the car at the desk. It's like sitting right there. We just can't find it. So, and that's a skill that you hone that'll take you through many great things, right? So all those sort of social media spaces we can find you. All right. In before you answer about what's new, I know you've had some really incredible interviews, for want of a better phrase, with people. Want to talk about maybe some of the ones that stood out to you as being your favorite? Maybe you consider more important. I don't know, for whatever reason, but. Yeah.
So I actually have a ton of interviews, so I don't think I remember all of them. But I think they're all really important. So I've interviewed Her Excellency the Governor. Then I also did some documentaries with the DOE about sharks, turtles, rays. I also interview athletes like Jay Fit. Mm-hmm. Actually, his dad is in the studio right now. So even if you might not be listening, you should be. And also have interviewed some of like musicians like Swanky and KT. And then I also have done some events like Emancipation Day. And then I also do some personal videos on dogs and cats to help them get adopted.
All right. One of our listeners and avid, and this is where it's important, to make sure we connect, wants me to clarify the correct spelling of Phoenix. Can we ask how, is that okay? I mean,
yeah, no, absolutely.
I want to know because I actually that too, but how does Phoenix
Spell Phoenix? So, I spell my name.
Don't get this wrong now.
Yes, please.
Sure.
Easy, yeah.
Okay. Phoenix.
All right. Now, is that Phoenix, Arizona?
Yep. Arizona, yeah.
There you go. Or is it the rising sun? No, but don't. And this is, I thank that listener for asking because Phoenix sing. How do we spell Phoenix? And then sing for some. It may be like the movie, or maybe like how we.
That's right. There's many ways to spell it. There's many.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Thank you for allowing us to ask you, and thank you for answering that.
But he's done quite a number of videos. He just rattled off a list there, and he's actually done. We were actually doing a count the other day, and he's upwards of 80 videos now, which is in less than a year.
And I don't know that many of us who are unfamiliar with it don't appreciate. So whether you're a photographer or a videographer or like 1 hour, or even a movie, a 90-minute movie, there are probably thousands of hours of editing and of production and the like. So that's that 5 minutes, that 30-second commercial. There's a lot of time behind that to get it done, and then afterwards, right? So that's a discipline, man. A commitment.
Yes.
Looking at his face as he's like, yes, it's been a lot of hours.
and I share that because for my friends who are photographers, for instance, X dollars for a shoot, an hour or whatever, we don't realize that level of quality, that professionalism extends beyond that final sort of delivery of the product. It's in the studio, it's in the the editing and whatever it is that's required, right? So your job isn't just on camera, it's also off. With that, can we ask about anything new coming up? What's new? I mean, we've got 4 minutes or so left. What can you share with us?
So I'm very grateful because, like my dad said, next month is my 1-year anniversary of all my channels. I'm also, there's gonna be some documentaries on wildlife. Then we're gonna have the Grateful series come again. And then we're also gonna have a new series called the Cayman Beaches. And then, which we already talked about, I have a new series that I recently started, Groot in Cayman.
I can see Groot in Cayman from East End, to West End.
It's awesome. He's covered about 15 different spots already, and from indoors at King Sports Center, and he was with at DOE the other day, and he was hanging out with Mr. John Bothwell, and got a great photo of John and Groot cuddling on the couch. It's great.
Was Groot cuddling John, or?
Yeah.
But John's gonna be like, nah.
He took part in the Miss Cayman photo shoot. Phoenix did all the interviews, or did a series of interviews with all the contestants, and Groot got to hop in the photo, and it's funny because people generally want to. It's a cute little character, right? So people tend to want to go, hey, sure.
I guess I'm not.
So we got your photo already. You weren't looking.
Groot in Cayman. Looking forward to that.
Cayman, yeah.
Perhaps Groot in a wetsuit. We can put some tanks on him, take him diving. No.
Next week.
Yeah.
Groot's gonna, we find driftwood out in the ocean, and Groot's gonna go out there.
Well, don't let the sharks bite.
No.
Well, this is where I think, having a recognition of what Cayman can offer. I'm so grateful that prior to you, Ms. Lawrence Steele came on. And sometimes we fail to embrace what, youthful eyes can see. sometimes we fail to appreciate those from outside when they're looking. In closing, I'll say this to you. One of the reasons I enjoyed, the last number of years in particular, and especially with all that may have transpired, I got to reconnect with friends that we just see each other in passing. And through them, both a deliberate effort on their part and mine, to see and explore Cayman again, from the walks of Barcas to just along the beach, to actually not seeing the sunset, but actually watching the sunset, that flash, the green flash, it actually exists. Say that to share that through you, we get to appreciate what we have here, from the economic to the social to that thing that makes us who we are. So, hey, thanks, man. Your series have been great. Your videos have been inspiring, but it's also been instructive. So thank you.
Thank you.
What, if anything, would you want to leave with our listeners today about anything from any perspective as you so wish?
One thing. Hi and goodbye, Mom.
He's still a comedian at 12 years old.
Hey, never lose. I mean,
We should remind the listeners to like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
Like
someone's got to
remind.
subscribe too, guys. Like and subscribe.
so like and subscribe.
Yes.
All right. I still think it's a pound sign, but perhaps a hashtag. Ray, I open with you, I close with you, because I think many times as parents, some will look at us and don't appreciate the commitment. Mom and dad,
Sure.
individual, collectively, we unfortunately, and I say this deliberately, we talk about helicopter parent. I find that to be just an offensive, just egregious comment, because that absent parent has negative connotations for society, but for that child. We're not talking about doing for the child. We're talking about doing with the child, giving the child
Sure.
the confidence, instilling the competence. But until, you're an island, and I haven't known anyone who is, you need support. You need, to be sort of given the skill set. Talk to us, any closing thoughts you want to share, especially about, being involved in the lives of our children.
At the end of the day, I mean, it's we do shoulder a significant amount of responsibility as parents.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very forgiving on parents. Parents make tons of mistakes. I've made my fair share. Every parent does. There's no book that's the perfect playbook for it, right? Being present, doing your best, and recognizing that the time that you spend with your child and invest it into your child, because it is an investment, just like it is, it will pay dividends down the road. And that's just in the same way we talk about finance or real estate. I know the conversation earlier was about making an investment in real estate. Whatever investment of time and energy you're putting into, your kids will compound many, many times over. And at the end of the day, that's your legacy.
That child's life affected now, but that child's life affecting others 30, 70 years from now.
Absolutely. No, absolutely, yeah.
And so thank you as parents, your mom and your dad, but thank you too for being willing to listen, to follow.
If I can get a shout there, I will actually put another level on that. And as Phoenix has, thankfully, all his grandparents are still invested into his life right now. And I will say, there is that tertiary level of, because I know we have a lot of grandparents that listen to our station. That grandparent level can't be overstated. Parents have shoulder the responsibility of the discipline, the investment of time. Grandparents shoulder the responsibility of creating that fun environment, right? And that's just as much. That is such an important element, right?
Yeah.
And all four of Phoenix's grandparents are quite heavily invested. Probably all listening right now.
Yeah.
And that level, because we have a lot of grandparents that also double up here in Cayman, playing a very significant parental role, and that level of involvement is just as important as those parentals, or the parents, sorry.
That is so key, and thanks, to you for reminding us of that. And so all of us, we are parents, biological or otherwise, but by extension. So Phoenix, have a wonderful, safe, and enjoyable rest this afternoon. May all your endeavors bring you fulfillment. Thanks very much, man.
Thank you.
All right. And to our listeners, as we invite you to join Mr. Art tomorrow morning for the record, come back to our Talk Today program right after the midday news. Like us, Mr. Kenneth Ebanks will sit with us. The Plan Cayman exercise in this first round has completed. There's public consultation, but he's going to share with us from that perspective, and we look forward to that discussion. So stay tuned to Susan. Call and request a song, whatever you ask or listen to, she always provides good, fulfilling, soulful music. Until tomorrow, my friends, be blessed.